next speaker is the VP of Product at Hyvä, overseeing development for Hyvä Theme and Checkout and Enterprise and more. Based in the UK, he's also been involved with Magento since 2012, having previously helped build and grow the agency Fisheye as technical director. He's passionate about performant e-commerce sites with exceptional user experience and helping developers and merchants get the most possible out of the Magento platform. He's also obsessed with the color orange, which might have something to do with Magento, and plays an active role in the community as a founding board member of MageOS and as a contributor to the content committee in collaboration with the Magento Association. So please give a warm welcome to John Hughes.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. So, I think it's already been pretty well covered. It's a bit about me, a little bit of formatting issues there, but no issues. So let's get straight into it. Who knows who we are already? Great. Or who's working with us already? Keep your hands up. All right, and finally, put your hands up if you like Ted Lasso. All right, good. You'll like this one. Okay, so for those that don't then, we're Hyvä. We are a storefront for Magento and Adobe Commerce. Our focus is on performance, so things like core web vitals, as well as user experience, reduced development costs, quicker time to market, and developer experience, so what we call e-commerce made happy. Hyvä's a Finnish word. That FI is supposed to be a Finnish flag, but never mind. But we're actually a Dutch company, and that's supposed to be a Dutch flag. Founded in 2020, we launched our theme a year later in 2021, and as of this year, we have 5 key product offerings, which I'll come on to in a minute. We've also got a team of 16 people in 5 countries with 5 more lovely flags there. We are more than just a theme, but that's what we started with. Our theme is a complete replacement for the front end of Magento. We throw all the stuff that developers don't like and was not performant, so all the knockout, the jQuery, and the less. Started again with a nice lean, minimal base using Alpine and Tailwind. But we also have a checkout solution. It's built on something called MageWire. It gives the power to developers to manage the state of the checkout in the back end and leaves the front end developers to just be able to manage the look and feel. And again, it's much, much faster. And while both of those products focus on compatibility with Magento open source, we've also got Hyvä Enterprise, and this is our offering that supports all the Adobe Commerce features, including the B2B suite, live search, and product recommendations. We've also got a couple more. We've got UI, which is our component library of beautifully designed components that you can easily copy, paste, drop into your site, be up and running with beautifully designed elements in no time at all. And finally, we've got Hyvä Edge, which is our compatibility offering for Edge delivery services so that you can combine it with Hyvä Enterprise. And I'll come back onto that later on. So we've got 5 products, a toolkit for building better storefronts to make everyone's lives happier. But one of the key things about Hyvä is it's not just our products, it's about you, our partners, and our ecosystem. So we relaunched our partner program earlier this year. And we've now got over 320 agency partners worldwide. There are over 50 in North America. We've got 700 agencies in total across the world working with our solution. We've got over 5,000 people on our Slack now, 7,500 plus developers on our GitLab, and over 50 technical partners, including service providers, hosting companies, and extension vendors, which brings me on to. We've now got over 1,000 compatible extensions, which is nearly, I think, 2.5 times the amount when we shared this same statistic here last year. And we're continuing to add more partnerships all the time. And you're also helping us to lead the way with Core Web Vitals. So over half of Hyvä sites pass their Core Web Vitals, which is nearly double the amount of all Magento sites inclusive. We've hit a really great milestone, I think just a few months ago now. We've got over 4,000 sites live, including almost 20% of them here in North America, which is a great statistic. And if we drill down into that a little bit further, in terms of the top 1 million sites, we've doubled the amount of sites in the last year, and actually 1 in 10 Magento sites in the top 1 million now run on Hoover. Which all of that means, in the stats that are available on Built With, we're now the 22nd, have to keep checking because it keeps changing, 22nd ranked commerce platform in the world as a storefront. We outrank things like Commerce Tools, Spryker, and other Magento storefront solutions like View Storefront, or Aloki as it's called now, and PWA Studio. We've obviously got some pretty nice brand names up there as well, so we're definitely kind of that global approach now. We're moving on, and we've got some great case studies that you've helped with us as well. So if you want to check any of those out, you can see them on our site. But I'm sure you didn't come here just to see loads of stats, as much as we love to share them. So let's have a look at what your storefront should do for you. So to start this, I need to go back a few years, back to, probably 2017, 18, somewhere around then. And yeah, things started to get complicated. New technologies coming out, all these kind of things. And at this point, I was still agency side, and we were at the point where we were having to try and decide where should we go next, because we all agreed that Luma, wasn't really fit for purpose anymore. It's too bloated, not fun to work with, too expensive, all those kind of things. But equally, all these new things that were coming out, like headless and stuff, they're just not the right solution for the majority of merchants, especially in the mid-market. They have their place, they can be good, but for the most part, it's not the right solution. And that's kind of what we're all about. We believe in evolution of commerce. We believe that merchants didn't ask for any of this revolutionary stuff, and before all these buzzwords became a thing, we don't believe that merchants ever really asked for headless or PWA, microservices, composable, delivery on the edge, or that shiny new JavaScript framework that came out last week. But we do know that merchants ask for improved performance, better SEO, increased conversion rate, lower development costs, and quicker time to market. So to wrap all that up into what your storefront should do for you, then this is what we believe. This is the ethos, regardless of whether you choose us or something else. So it should be performance and SEO friendly out of the box. You should be able to get beautiful sites up and running in a reasonable time. And you should be able to do that at a reasonable cost and be able to maintain it at a reasonable cost as well. You should have the freedom to build on top and do what you want to do. So we like to keep things simple, but that actually helps you to be able to build more complex things on top. So the power of open source versus SaaS solutions. And it should be enjoyable for developers to work with. Well, that might not be immediately obvious to a merchant, but if developers enjoy working with the platform, then you can build an ecosystem around it, and everybody wins. But most importantly, storefront should do for you is it should allow merchants to just get on with what they should be doing, which is selling to their customers. And overall, whether you're a developer, an agency, tech provider, or a merchant, running a site should be a positive experience, should be e-commerce made happy. It should be the norm, not some kind of unreachable dream. So if you're not there yet, what can you do to get there? Now, just to maybe burst some of your bubbles, I'm not going to have all of your answers in the next 15 minutes. What I am going to do is go through some of the things that we've worked on this year, some of the things we've got coming up to show how you can improve your storefront. And some of these things are not Hoover specific, they're agnostic. You can apply them regardless of what front end you're on. But if you are using our solutions, we make it really, really simple for you to get up and running and using them. So, roadmap stuff. So this is my get out of jail free card. You can't hold me to anything I say now. I love being able to say that. But yeah, let's carry on. Right, first, the Hoover theme. Let's start with everyone's favorite topic, Core Web Vitals. So as I'm sure many of you are aware, this year we said goodbye to first input delay, and we said hello to interaction to next paint, which now measures interactions across users' visit of a page, not just the initial one. We weren't immune to this either. We took a bit of a dip earlier this year, so we went down from the 50% that I mentioned earlier down to about 40%. So we decided that we needed to do something about it. Obviously, pretty frustrating, but these metrics are there for a reason. They're there to give an idea of what your customers are feeling. So if we're not scoring well, then that means customers are frustrated because they're trying to interact with the site and it's not as quick as it should be. So what do we come up with? A new Alpine directive called Xdefer, and essentially this is a lazy loading strategy for running JavaScript code, so rather than something visual like an image, this is actually running code, and in particular Alpine code. So all it is a simple bit of markup that you can add to any element, as long as it's an Alpine element, and you can set rules to say, don't run the JavaScript for this component until the element is visible, so maybe you scroll down to it, or whether you interact with it, maybe hover or click, or you could just wait till the browser's ready, or you can do a custom event as well. So we've actually implemented this across many of the default elements on our storefront, as you can see highlighted in orange, so things like sliders, filters, swatches, prices, many, many more. It's had quite a big impact, and you may be wondering, why would we do this and why wouldn't we just completely lazy load these entire sections? Well, the benefit of doing it this way is the markups on the page on page load, so you've got the SEO benefit, but equally it means that you're not going to have layout shifts when things jump in and move around. So whilst IMP is something you measure with real user data in Core Web Vitals, we can give a kind of a rough indication of the improvements made using total blocking time and the performance score. So we had quite a big jump, and as you can see, reduced massively. So good stuff. And whilst it's not direct correlation, certainly had some part to play in the fact that we've now seen a recovery, and things are back to where they were at the start of the year. If you want to learn more about that, there's loads more I could share. There's things that you can easily apply this to your theme. You don't even need to upgrade. You don't even need to be on Hoover. If you have Alpine.js at all, you can use this as a code snippet that you can use. And if you want to learn more, there's a video all about it. Next, let's talk about instant page loads. So we're talking about Speculation Rules API. What this does is allows for the full pre-rendering of pages, so you get an instant load. All you need is a little bit of code, like this. This is from our actual live website. You just need to put some rules in to say which URLs you would like to speculate, which basically means pre-render those pages, and how you want to render them, like eagerly or not. And you can kind of get a bit of an idea from this little video, just to see when you hover over something, user intent, it will load them in the background, and then when you do load the page, it's a lot faster, and you can see the kind of results here. So our page is already pretty fast, but it completely negates things like largest contentful paint, and first contentful paint, and time to first byte. So it's really good. It feels a little bit like cheating. If you take one thing away from today, just go and put this on your website. It could take you minutes. You don't need to necessarily do a deployment or anything. It's super fast. Again, we've got lots of docs, how you can do it, how you can customize it, and all sorts. So for the rest of our theme, other things that we've been up to over the last year or so, we released our WCAG compliance accessibility improvements last year. And there's also something we've released this year called the JavaScript page registry, which just allows you to only load JavaScript on a page when you really need it. Again, just a way to ship less code to the browser and improve performance. So what have we got coming up soon? We've got some nice page builder image performance improvements, so things like lazy loading and adding image dimensions so there's no layout shifts. This also applies to background images in terms of the lazy loading. We've got another experimental browser API additions. This is the MPA view transitions, which gives you those nice animations between pages, as you can see there. But the big thing that we're working on at the moment, I'm sure many of you are aware, changes to PCI DSS that take effect, I think, in April next year. All of your payment pages need to have content security policy, or CSP, support. So we are working hard to make sure that not just payment pages, but the entire storefront is CSP compliant. And if you would like to learn a little bit more about that, our technical director, Vinay, has a blog post explaining more about it. Next, we're going to look at the checkout. So if you haven't seen it before, we've got a single-page layout and a multi-step layout. So our checkout's built with something called MageWire, which means all the state and logic is shifted to the backend, as I mentioned earlier, which means that PHP developers have got much better control and not having to fight and learn things like knockout and UI components. And we've been busy working with many payment providers to provide compatibility. We've also been working closely, including some stuff internally in terms of shipping solutions, as well as address autocomplete, so like postcode, zip code lookup services. But in terms of features this year, we've removed the email address field from the shipping address form and moved it into its own component, which now means it's so much easier for you to move it wherever you want in the checkout. If you want your own welcome step, for example, you can now just shift it over. And it also adds the functionality to check if a user already has an account and offer them the ability to log in or continue as a guest. One of the other big things we've been working on this year is just under the hood improvements to step navigation. So previously we stored all the step data in the session, which on high traffic sites did have some performance issues, so we've massively reduced that now. It's had a really big impact. Step navigation is now actually based on URL, so you'll get things like /step/shipping or payment. And adding that also now means that you've got full native browser support for going backwards and forwards in pages, which is obviously much improved. And in addition, we've been working on better validation as well. So if for whatever reason a customer's managed to do something weird and wonderful and managed to miss some bit of information at one point of the checkout, at any point now, whether it's moving to the next step or trying to place an order, if there's something missing, they get a nice user-friendly message and they get taken back to the right place. And another small one that came out, I think even just this week, maybe last week, we've added support for pre-selecting the first shipping and payment methods, so you can literally go through the checkout in a few clicks. Just let that run a couple more times. There you go. Okay, so much better. So that's just an overview of all the things that I've just mentioned. But in terms of things that are coming soon, we're working on auto-saving improvements for form fields. We are looking at improving the address form handling. We'll be looking at, we're currently using MageWire v2. There's a v3 version that's in the works. We want to be able to support that. And we're just putting a lot of time and investment into documentation, training materials, and code examples to share with you. And, as I've already mentioned, storefront-wide CSP support. Checkout's the most important part for that, so obviously included. Next, we will have a quick look at UI. Not much to share here, but I could look at these lovely designs from our designer, Danny, all the time. We've released quite a few over the last year or so, including the order success page you can see on the right there. Yeah, there's loads and loads that we've released. What I will share quickly is just a sneak peek of a few things that are coming. So we've been working on some beautiful mobile menu designs. So they should be coming fairly soon. And a little bit after, we're working through cart page variations. And for the eagle-eyed of you, you might spot there's actually some enterprise functionality in these. This is the first UI component with enterprise. So there's B2B and gift card and other stuff in there, which brings us nicely onto enterprise. So when I first started at Hoover last year, it was my job to get all the B2B stuff done. And the first thing I was greeted with was these lovely grids in the customer account area that use knockout and UI components. And you can see just how long they take to load on a slower connection. So not much fun. So what do? We just use server-side rendering, and they load almost instantly. So yeah, server-side rendering is still good, still here to stay. And just a quick comparison, it's nearly 5 times faster using Hoover than it is with Luma. And whilst this is just a complete side note, just 9.9 megabyte of resources to load a table is crazy. Yeah, for the rest of the B2B stuff, there's not the most exciting screenshots, but everything's there, everything's complete. Nice, simple, and effective. In terms of the Sensei stuff. We've done product recommendations, live search. We've recently launched the product listing page widget support, including some experimental features that are not yet available in Luma, such as price sliders, image carousels, search box, and different layout views. We've also spent some time making sure that there are no layout shifts. Because this is loaded in after the page load, it needed some care and attention. Checkout stuff we've done, gift cards, store credit, reward points. We've done B2B stuff, credit limits, quotes, and purchase orders, as well as offering customizability. So you can now, for company customers, you can have completely different checkout steps, checkout layouts, all configurable from the admin panel, which is nice. Pretty much everything's done. It's just a few commerce things left to do. And once we find out from Adobe when the next B2B release is coming, we'll be busy working on that as well. And just in case I hadn't mentioned it already, CSP support. Right, let's speed up because I'm running out of time. Hyvä Edge. I'm sure many of you have seen Adobe's vision for their future of storefronts. So you might have seen this AEM boilerplate template. So obviously AEM is definitely for merchants higher up the higher end of the market. We did get the question of, should we go with Hyvä? Should we go with Edge Delivery Services? Took some time to think about it. And we came up with, well, why not both? Because most of the sites that currently run on EDS use PWA Studio for the cart and the checkout and the account area. So why not use Hyvä instead? So this is a prototype that we did with our partner Valantic, Nets98 Valantic, sorry. So it's the shared, all running on a single domain, shared between the two. So we've got shared header, so things like the menu and the mini cart, and shared footer as well. There's a demo if you'd like to go and see it in action. And we've also got lots of documentation, including this lovely architecture diagram, which I don't have time to go into detail now. But while we're on the topic of Adobe, I have one final thing to share. And just to make sure you're still awake towards the end of the day, a little bit of maths. What do you get if you combine Adobe, Hyvä, and our gold partner, Beamer? You get Hyvä Checkout and Adobe Payment Services support. So all payment methods are covered. So it includes cards, PayPal, Apple Pay, Google Pay, all that stuff. It works for the theme and for the checkout. So we've got smart buttons on the product page, in the mini cart, in the cart, and then a couple of screenshots of the checkout. Not the most exciting, but it's all there. It all works. So it supports both open source and commerce. We've done all the payment methods, as I mentioned. We've also included the new PayPal API, which I don't believe is in the Luma version yet, so you can choose which one you want to use. It works with any of our checkout layouts, and as mentioned, it works with the Hyvä theme as well as the checkout. So if you've got a Hyvä theme or checkout license already, you can get this at no additional cost. So massive shout out to BMO for helping us to get to this point. And also thanks to Harrison and the Adobe Services team for their support. And if you are interested, Harrison's the best person to go and ask about it. Right, I am done, slightly over time. We'll wrap up. So, key things to take away. Firstly, which storefront? So, regardless of what storefront you pick, whether it's us or somebody else, one thing I would urge you to do is to pick a storefront that's on your side. Pick one that works with you, not against you. And don't overcomplicate things. Try and keep them as simple as possible. And like I said, if there's one action to take away from today, put speculation rules on your site now. It'll have a massive impact. Furthermore, we know performance is always going to change. The goalposts are going to move. And if that's and our commitment to you is that anytime that happens, we're going to react and make sure that we've got your back to keep you covered. We believe we've hopefully got the tools to help you build those better storefronts out and have e-commerce made happy. And whether we have time for questions now, I don't know. But if not, come and see us at the booth. Or as it's getting towards the end of the day, you can always come and speak to us at the after party. Final thing. If you are invested in the Magento Adobe Commerce ecosystem as much as us, there are loads and loads of initiatives you can get involved in. So please come and contribute, get involved. Good way to start doing that. There's a community hangout tomorrow with the major S and Magento associations. So come and see us there. That is it thank you for your time. Thank you for continuing to believe in us and helping us grow. That's it.
Thank you, John. Ted Lasso just got bumped to the top of my watch list. But does anybody have any questions for John? We have a handheld. We can have it run out. Thank you. Yep.
Grim, the Independent. Series did a great job. Looking really forward to a lot of these new implementations. I was just wondering with the WCAG accessibility, is that 2.0? What's the goal here? 2.0, 3.0?
I believe when we released it last year, it was 2.1. I know 2.2 is available now. We're constantly adding additional accessibility improvements to the products. Yeah, I'd have to go away and double check the exact version.
Okay. Any more? I think we have time for one more.
Would you post your slides?
Yeah, I can send a link to the slide, yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're going to have...